What up, man?
I feel like every single time we start the show, it's an episode of You Can't Do That on Television, and I'm opening up the locker and going, "Hey AJ," and then you open up your locker and you're like, "Hey Brian, you've never seen I Can't Do That on You Can't Do That on Television, have you?"
Yeah, no. Was it
Well,
Nickelodeon or something?
yeah, yeah. It was,
I didn't watch Nickelodeon except for, like, yeah, no, I didn't. I didn't watch Nickelodeon. I was a
does
Cartoon Network
anyone in the
kid.
chat have any idea what I'm talking about, or am I just making all of this up? Either way, dude, let's just start the show. We have so much stuff to talk about.
Are you afraid of the dark?
Can we start the show?
Yes.
And yes, I am. This is PSVR Gamescast Live, where we film live every single Monday, Wednesday. Oh, thank God, it's Friday. 6 p.m. Eastern, live right here on YouTube. If you're watching it now, well, I can't guarantee anything because I don't know when now is for you. But it's probably live if you're here right now. There's a few of you hanging out with us. My name is Brian Pop, from this channel right here, PSVR Without Parole. And this guy over here can't do it without him. Hetero life mate, AJ from the Underground, PSVR Underground.
What is up, Brian? What is up, Game Cats? Happy Friday, man. Woo! And we are ready to send you off into the weekend with some good vibes and talking about all the PSVR goodness you can handle. I beat Horizon, man, and Horizon Zero Dawn. And yeah, long story short, it's amazing. It's the second game in 4 years, or since the inception of PSVR, that I've beaten. That's a flat screen game. Usually, I play a flat screen game for like 2 hours, maybe minus Returnal. But most flat screen games I play for like 2 hours. Doesn't matter what it is. I'll be totally into it. After those 2 hours, I'm just like lose interest. Not with Horizon. I played it with like 5 to like 9 hour sittings every single day, and I beat it across the span of like 3 days. And it is like so good, man. Amazing game. Can't wait for Call of the Mountain.
I'm
Chef's
playing.
kiss, you know?
I'm playing through my fourth Castlevania game in the last
Ah,
month.
yeah.
Also, a COTM, Circle of the Moon. I decided to get into the GBA one. Sorry, siren on my end. I played through all the DS ones. They're okay, and then but I think the GBA ones are where it's at. Call of the Mountain, aka Circle of the Moon, is pretty
Yeah.
fucking great. Even though it's a little stiffer than the other two. I can't wait to. I'm blasting through all that right now. Absolutely loving it. But I also love Salvatore, who couldn't stay for the show with a $5 tip. Says, dang it, not going to be able to catch you all live. Have a great show. And sup, tell the Game Cats, you're all the best. You are all the best. We love you so very much.
Jazzy J says, Jazzy J Terramage Game Cat says, what? Finish it in 3 days? Yeah, man. Maybe like 4 at best. But I literally just did nothing but play it each and every day from like basically from sun up to sundown. And it was incredible. I put like 32 hours into it or something.
Did
And
do
no,
any side
Mark
quests?
Pringle's Leaf. I did not. I did do a couple side quests, but I didn't beat the DLC, as Mark Pringle's Leaf asked. I wanted to just finish the story. I want to know all about Aloy, the story, the gameplay, and yeah, man, it's just a fantastic game. For so many reasons, I would love to do like a mini review on it or something sometime.
Yeah, you should. You absolutely should. You spent so much time playing it that I think for people like me who maybe saw a good chunk of it, or people who are just like, I can't wait for the VR game, but there's no way I'm going to spend 60 hours playing the flat screen game. It would be. I think it would be kind of cool to see, just kind of like your, maybe even a spoiler filled review. Like rather.
Yeah,
Than
I was thinking about doing an interactive chat
Yeah.
and just talking about spoilers, getting people that aren't going to play it caught up on the story or something.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent idea, and I would totally tune in for that. So, guys, if you would like to tune in for something like that, AJ might be doing something like that over on his channel. So make sure you subscribe to him at PSVR Underground. Underground. That's not how that works. Dude, like we always want to thank all the cats, all the people who support us on this channel, everybody who gives us donations and changes their name to GameCat. I just totally screwed that up. Patreon.com/without pro games. But we also want to thank people who support us in a different way. I told you I screwed up this introduction. AJ, who are the people we want to thank today?
Well, it is Friday, and you can get a shout out. This is going to be a very community-focused episode, so I'm super excited. We've got tons of viewer takeovers. We're going to be answering your questions, but first, we would like to thank those who support us in another way by changing their name to Gamecat, something Gamecat related, or something Gamecat adjacent as you and something Gamecat adjacent like to say. And this week, we have 3 new Gamecats to welcome to the Gamecat Dojo. Starting with JC, the inimitable dual-wielding, ass-kicking Gamecat.
Bing.
That was a hard one.
Yeah, that's super hard.
I was doing a JC and the Pussycats thing.
I'm just impressed you could pronounce inimitable without
Inimitable.
and in a sing-song fashion, because I definitely have a hard time saying that word.
I was really worried about that. I was like, oh man, that's gonna be rough. I didn't even practice it. So thank you. Next up, we've got an old school game cat in the house tonight, and that is Texotron, the double pop game cop. Oh shit!
What?
You an architect though?
Yeah, everybody fucking watch yourselves. Put the drugs away. The popo.
Put away your catnip.
The popo's here, man.
Tex has been Chan, right? I'm sorry, Robin. He's been around for
Chan.
years. Texas Chan. Great dude, man. Thank you so much, man. Good to see you. Don't be a stranger. I see him around the internets all the time, and I'm just like, I know that dude.
For sure.
I hope he remembers me one day.
We also know the next dude.
Yes, we do, and that is serial killer. The oblivious to the noise game cat.
Which is an obvious reference to our last episode when I had the Twisted Metal trailer blaring. None of us, or neither one of us, was aware that anything was going on. It worked out.
I went back and I watched that to see how loud it was.
Yeah.
And I'm just talking for 5 minutes, and I'm like, you know what? It's probably better that there was just metal music playing.
Dude, I wish there was just metal music playing whenever I talk too. I would just walk down the street and I'd just be talking randomly, and there'd be metal music blaring for me. People would be like,
that'd be pretty cool.
Pretty cool. Yep. So don't forget, guys, if you change your name to Gamecat, leave a comment on any of the videos, not in the live chat. It doesn't work that way. And so I can find you. Comment in any video after you change your name with the hashtag Gamecat, and I'll find you and give you a shout out on next week's show. Thank you so much. Very loyal cats out there. AJ, we got a ton of news to talk about today. We're going to talk about some physical PSVR games. We're going to talk about Final Space getting a VR game. But first, we got some amazing news from IO Interactive regarding Hitman 3. AJ, what the hell did those motherfuckers have to say to us?
They announced their year 2 roadmap. They've been really good about the communication, about their plans for the game, the communication around it. They are killing it over there at IOI. And yeah, man, they gave us some things that we can really, really look forward to. There's some new content that's going to be dropping. There is, it starts January 20th, so it's actually only 6 days away. And there's going to be the Elusive Target Arcade, which it says you will be taking down consecutive targets, one contract after the other. The contracts are permanent, but failure will result in a 12-hour lockout.
Oh, wow. So,
have you done any of the Elusive Target missions?
I have not, because that would stress me out, knowing I only have one chance to do it, and that is it. I'm not that good, especially not that good at Hitman, right? So I would just be setting myself up for failure. But they must be stressful, right?
I wouldn't say stressful. No, they're fun as hell. I don't think I've ever felt stress from Hitman, but it is very challenging because, like you said, you only get one chance, and it's also really hard streaming it. But the other thing, which might be more up your alley, let's see if you like the sound of this. Hitman Freelancer is a brand new single-player mode that introduces roguelike elements, strategic planning, and customizable safe house. Everything is on the line, and failure is costly.
Yeah, I thought that was.
How's that sound to you?
Yeah, no, I think that sounds great. I like games with roguelike elements or roguelike elements, and so kind of mixing up the Hitman formula just a little bit to maybe appease even a few more people sounds like a lot of fun. Now, what I was confused about because I had to sort of skim the entire news brief, are these all new missions in areas that we visited before?
These are new missions, and yes, they typically the elusive targets are they reuse their locations is what they call them because they're like sandbox locations, and they typically reuse them and add a new character. They do spruce it up sometimes, but there's more, Brian.
But wait, there's more.
They gave us a sneak peek at a new level, a new location that they're working on, and it looked pretty cool. I don't know if you got to see it, but it looked kind of like a jungle with like a bridge, like a wooden bridge connecting it. And yeah, it looked very South American, I would say.
Okay, I'm getting a good visual, I suppose, from that description. Sounds pretty good. I think the environments are always, I think, what kind of impressed me most about the Hitman series. Because,
my God, yeah.
I mean, obviously, because they also not only did the environments look amazing, but they also really utilized them well. They took advantage of pretty much every corner, and they gave you lots of places to hide and lots of different ways to kill people and different places to lure people to. And don't do that. Stop that. My cat's gonna take down the whole stream. So new environments, I think, open up worlds of possibilities, and that's what's going to get me back into Hitman more than, say, the elusive target arcade, which is like, all right, cool, I'll check it out, but probably isn't going to be the thing that hooks me.
Yeah, well, that's not all, man.
Wait,
they said we will be introducing new tech updates, new platforms, and more content as well.
Gee, I wonder what new platforms could mean, AJ.
Yeah, I mean, either new tech or new platforms. Either of those fit the mold pretty well for a certain, platform that we know and love and can't wait to play.
What are you, a developer? PlayStation VR 2. You and I are allowed to say it. You and I are allowed to say it. They might not be allowed to say it, but you and I can say it. PlayStation VR 2. And they actually spent a whole lot of time during this presentation talking about the two-handed support that's coming to PCVR, and they, dude, I mean, watching these two IO reps or whoever they are in the team, they were so excited about the possibilities that two-handed support adds to the game. They're talking about how throwing is just so much more immersive and so much more fun. They're saying like, oh, your left hand, you kind of like point to target what the thing you're, and then you throw with your right hand and you're aiming with your left, and it actually sounds like, I guess if you throw, you can just hold your hand out and it feels pretty natural. They're talking about like, whipping it from underneath and throwing it in all these different ways. And they're saying how
right, it kind of like locks on. It like locks on with one hand, and then what that does is it gives you the ability with that aim assist to like throw it in any way you want and have some fun with it. So it seems pretty cool.
Yeah, they were so excited about this. And they were like, it adds so much immersion. And then there's like fist fighting, and fist fighting feels real because you're using two hands. And I'm like, dudes, this is what we were trying to tell you long before the PlayStation VR 1 launch. So like we tried to tell you this, like use the move controllers. And here they are being like, it's amazing. We had no idea. I was like, yes, you had an idea of what was possible. You just didn't do it until now. So it's fun to watch, but frustrating at the same time, being like, you should have just done this already. And so hopefully they'll have a nice PSVR 2 patch ready for launch, so we get to enjoy these kind of amenities as well.
Yeah, I'm not expecting this to come to PS4, though it's always a possibility, but I am absolutely expecting a PSVR 2 remaster with the orbs.
Yeah, oh, for sure. For sure.
All right, man. So next up, there is a physical edition that is out for Rez Infinite. It's called the Rez Eco Forward Edition.
Yeah, and this is from I Am 8-Bit. I Am 8-Bit actually were the ones that issued a Rez physical edition prior to this. And I Am 8-Bit's a little bit interesting when they do their physical stuff, because very frequently they just put it up on the store and they say, maybe limited edition or collector's edition or something like that, but very infrequently do they say a certain number. One day you just go to the store, it's no longer there, or it says sold out, and then it's super expensive on eBay. In this case, there was another version of Rez that I have around here somewhere, but but that's in a plastic box, regular or whatever. It's a pretty slick cover. It's all black with just the Rez silhouette thing.
So eco-forward, does that mean like an eco-friendly version?
Yeah, so this one seems to be all cardboard casing. And they did specify this time around that it's a limited run of 5,000 copies, which for a PlayStation VR game, I know it's also a PS4 game, it seems like a kind of a high number.
It's
But
also a Dreamcast game
well,
and
also
a PS2 game.
True, but but it does seem like kind of a high number. Although I think it's a cool thing to have in your collection. The box art looks pretty good, and it's on sale. It's I guess maybe it didn't sell out as fast as they were expecting it to, and I think it retails usually for $50, and $44.99, so $45, and it's on sale currently for $35.99, so it's like $9 off. Innovative eco-forward packaging, only available at IM 8-bit, elegant slipcase format, 12 by 24 inch fold-out poster, package designed by Corey Schmitz. Maybe somebody knows who that is out there. I do not. Limited edition of 500 copies, region free, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah, Rez is also just a kick-ass game that I remember, and yeah, I remember the Enhanced Games or Mizuguchi said something. They kind of hinted that they're going to be working on a sequel of some sorts, a follow-up to. It sounded like a follow-up to either Rez or Tetris Effect. I think it was Rez that they were talking about. I think they're going to be developing a next-gen Rez game as well.
That'd be great, man. Those Sense controllers would be fantastic. I'm sure they could take full advantage of that. And honestly, like
The headset vibrations.
yeah.
Now
Oh,
you don't have to sit on a Move controller.
oh yeah. Well, I mean, what was it called in the Dreamcast? Trance vibrator or something like that. It's such a joke because it wasn't even a controller. It was literally just something that vibrated. Make insert your joke here, and like so you'd like throw it under your couch cushion while you played, and like so that your body would vibrate.
It's so immersive.
Right, and now it's like, oh, we can actually get these vibrations in our head, which is I think kind of cool because it is all about this like constant pulsing. And honestly, I think that Rez is. I hope they remaster Rez for PSVR 2, but on top of that, I just want more levels for Rez. So Rez 2 doesn't have to be all that different, honestly. So I really hope the aiming is better in Rez 2 as well, because it worked great with head tracking, but it didn't work so well with the Move controllers. I feel like I was dragging those cursors around the screen, and I hated playing that way. I didn't like that.
I would love to be the little, humanoid thing that you represent or whatever that represents you, and to be able to like actually physically reach out and use your arms and then like use the joysticks to turn. It can be kind of on rails and stuff. I don't really mind that for Rez. But I don't know. The Area X thing was kind of better. It would be cool if it was first person and you're just kind of floating around and shooting with your actual hands this time.
Yeah, for sure. Looper the Underground Game Cat with the €5, referring back to Hitman, says this approach to throwing looks very promising. It should bring a perfect balance between precision and immersion. Can't wait to experience it on PSVR 2. I agree. I think that was a good choice they made.
Definitely a balance of each, since it's not necessarily like super physics based. It's more like a lock on kind of thing. Yeah. They definitely found a balance there.
Looper the Underground Game Cat again with the €5 follows that up by saying we missed something. Also, they are finally bringing the whole trilogy as a single package to all stores, including PlayStation Network. And for anybody who is unaware of how confusing it can be to get all of the Hitman games into VR, well, then this is kind of a godsend. Good point. Thank you for keeping us honest, Looper.
Cool, man. So that brings us to our next topic, which is Final Space VR, which is a 4-player co-op shooter that is based off of was kind of, I guess, popular TV series, had 4 seasons before it was unfortunately canceled. I don't really know a lot about this series at all because I don't watch a lot of TV. But, what did you think of this?
So this was just announced a few days ago, and then just a couple of days after that, they were like, "Oh, and it's going to be out on I think the 13th or something like that on Steam and Quest or whatever," and then it said coming soon to PlayStation VR, which is great. And I wasn't familiar with this at all. I was like, oh man, Final Space, what a generic sounding name. I didn't know it was connected to a cartoon. I didn't realize that there was any kind of fanfare around this at all until I started looking into it. And today, I was like, well, maybe I'll check this thing out. Let's see what it's all about. Because as AJ said, it got canceled after 3 seasons. And so this is sort of bad timing for the game. Like, there's a part of me that thinks, oh man, Grab Games, who's making this, and you guys might be familiar with Grab Games because they made Knockout League. That's really the last big.
Love Knockout League.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And they also made like some RTS called Amoeba Battle or something, but like no one's ever heard of that. Unless I'm wrong, and everybody in the chat's like, we fucking love Amoeba Battle. What are you talking about? But yeah, so the Knockout League guys are making this game. I'm sure that they thought they had more time to get their game out because I'm assuming they didn't realize the show was going to be canceled so quickly.
Right.
But I checked it out. I checked out the show today. I was like, I'll just watch an episode just to get caught up and see what this is all about. And I kind of fell in love with it immediately. It's very adult in terms of tone. It's super dark and very frequently it's bloody or lots of death or limbs getting cut off or craziness. And but it's also funny, but not super slapsticky funny. I think most of the jokes are fairly intelligent and they know their audience. They're speaking to like grown-ups. And it's good. It's good. Robert the Gamecat in the chat was Amoeba Battle's my childhood. Yeah, I know. Okay. But no, this show's good. I was only going to watch one episode to sort of see what it was all about. I ended up watching 4. I just marathoned 4 episodes, not back to back, and it's really good. I can't wait to see where it goes. Now, the interesting thing about this is that the description of the game says Final Space VR: The Rescue offers 4 players. Offers a 4-player co-op first-person shooter in which series regulars Gary, Avocado, Nightfall, and Tribor go off and save Mooncake. I'm not even familiar with all these characters yet.
I love the description.
So Gary's the main character. Typical. He's he's basically a convict, right? And this is the character the story follows. He's a convict. He's been thrown into space prison, and he's delusional. He thinks he's the captain of the ship, but really he's in prison there. And he ends up getting attacked by this bounty hunter who's a big cat with a gun, and that's Avocado. Now I haven't met Nightfall yet, although I'm curious. I think I know where Nightfall's going to come in. And then Tribor is this green thing with 6 eyes. And it does not seem like a main character yet. So I'm interested to see how that character becomes a main character. But Mooncake is this adorable green, almost jellyfish thing that just kind of floats around. And he's so cute. But he also, of course, destroys planets. So these bad guys out in the universe that want to capture him and use them for nefarious ways, and you, the good guys, kind of, even though you're a convict or a criminal or whatever, you've become friends with Mooncake, and you stumbled upon him, and you guys became close friends, and now you're trying to save him. But you're off to find Mooncake, and that's sort of the story of the game. Now,
seems like a funny show. The one thing I will say about the trailer for the game. Everything seems fine. I like that it's 4-player co-op. It does look kind of basic, but usually when it's based off a cartoon show, like that cartoony look kind of works, like when it's intentionally that way. It also probably makes it easier to develop the game. The one thing that stood out to me though that I'm a little concerned about is like the actual gameplay itself. The shooting looks a little bland. Of course, you got to play it and experience it yourself, but just looking from the footage, it seems like a very straightforward, almost like a wave shootery kind of deal. So that's the only thing I would say. That's the main thing I'm concerned about because while I haven't seen the show, I do like I think the art style works. Like the environments are pretty bland, but the characters themselves look kind of cool.
Yeah. You should be worried about that because I checked out a VR Focus review since the game is out on some other platforms, and they said some good things. The characters animate well and the co-op works great. It's only 3 chapters and each one's only about 30 or 40 minutes long, and it feels very wave shootery. You're running around and killing stuff, and there's not the kind of interactions you'd want from a VR game. It sounds like this cartoon is all about. I mean, there are some crazy action sequences in it. You're always falling through space and crashing through things, and it's crazy. So far in the first 4 episodes, I haven't seen him run around shooting people or shooting aliens. What I've seen is just some like crazy action scenes, and none of that's in the game. And so this is kind of more of a straightforward bland shooter. There's not a lot of interactivity. There's like 2 things you pick up. It seems like one is cookies, which are your health, and that's actually very relatable to people who have seen the show. And then key cards that open locked doors, and you don't even store those in your inventory. You just walk into them, and boom, you get more health. Walk into the key card, boom, you're able to unlock that door now. And so for a VR game, I feel like they forgot the interactivity. Now I haven't played it myself, but I trust this review. In watching the gameplay, this all seems very, very accurate. So it looks like it could be fun, but like for an afternoon, and then you shelve it. So if it's more than $20, I think there's going to be a problem here.
Yeah. Lots of love for the TV show in the chat. So
Nice.
maybe I'll get around to checking out like an episode or 2 or something, seeing how I like it. But All Yours History wants to know, the Grind Cat wants to know, is it only co-op?
That's a good
Or is it
question.
single player as well?
I don't know the answer to that. It doesn't seem like the kind of game that would require multiplayer. I'm sure that maybe they're either just AIs or you're just in there by yourself. It didn't seem like the type of game that you're doing cool things with your teammates. You know, like you're not throwing them things or you're not working together. You're just all walking around shooting simultaneously. So I don't think the game's going to suffer if you play it by yourself. But I don't know exactly what the game does if you're not squatting up with anybody.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, looking forward to checking it out. I've certainly seen worse looking games. It looks like it could. I don't know. It does look kind of bland. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm checking
the gameplay.
It's $14.99. So these guys kind of know what kind of game they put out.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
Well, that's helpful. And being 4-player co-op could be fun. You know, sometimes those games are they. It depends on who you play it with to have like a better experience. You know.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait. I guess we'll. But should be. It came out for other platforms, and it said it is slated to come out to PlayStation VR soon. So I think people maybe that are fans of the TV show are definitely going to be really interested in this.
Yeah, I think so too. AJ, that kind of brings us to a bunch of viewer takeover questions. We sort of let viewer takeover questions pile up on Discord a little bit. If you're not a member of our Discord already, make sure you click the link in the description below. It's free to join. If you want to get into voice chat, there's a $3 Patreon tier you could help us out with. Patreon.com/withoutparole Remember, we're trying to get this guy over here hired. In Discord, there's a place to leave viewer takeover questions so that anytime, you guys have a good question that you want to ask us, we take those questions, we bring them over here to the show, and then we answer them publicly. And we kind of let them pile up for a little bit. So now we have about 8,000. So let's see.
Keep them coming. No, actually, we got some great questions here. You want me to take the first one?
Oh, yeah. Do it up.
The first one comes from Confuse a Game Cat. Says #viewer takeover like a pro. Do you think the hybrid game model will increase the price of games and cause flat screen gamers to suffer the VR tax? Or will VR users have to pay an additional fee to unlock the VR side of the game?
That's a good question.
I got I got an answer for this, but I want you to go first.
All right. Well, hopefully I'm going to steal your answer then. Yeah.
We'll see.
I think that at first there won't be a VR tax or anything like that. I think a $60 game is going to be a $60 game, a $70 game is going to be a $70 game, and hopefully the developers will reap the benefits of adding VR, bringing VR gamers in that weren't going to play the game in flat screen mode, and here they are. But since it's a PSVR 2 title, now they've got additional sales, and that will make up for the extra work that was required to sort of make it, VR AF. And so I hope developers see that for a minimal amount of work, they're reaping much higher benefits, and so there's no need for a price hike. I do think eventually they're going to say, hey, we could make more money off of this, and then charge us like an extra $10 or something like that. But at first, I think Sony's going to keep the Wild West a little under control.
Yeah, so I think the hybrid games are going to just be whatever the game is usually priced. I don't think there's going to be a VR tax. I think it's rare, if at all, that we see a VR mode that's like a separate cost. If anything, it would be really cool if there was just like, hey, I just want to purchase the VR mode only and pay less. I don't think that's happening though. But here's the thing: not every game is $60, $70. I think in the cases of those flat screen games being those prices, yes, most likely. But if the trade off for me personally, this is my stance on it. If I'm getting a AAA game with AAA content and length and quality for $60, I will pay that. I will happily pay that. Right. Games also tend to go on sale a lot faster than usual as well. But as we've seen, so that's kind of how I feel about it. And I feel like not every game that comes out that's a hybrid is going to be a $60 game. So I think there'll still be 20, 40, $20, $30, $40 games as well, in addition to that.
I think I'd like to clarify something here, too, while we're on the topic. Braxborough in the chat says, I don't really see a VR tax. If anything, there's a negative tax. Like a AAA flat screen game is $60 to $70, but a AAA VR game is almost always $40. Right. I think when we move into PlayStation VR 2 territory, I think we're going to be redefining what AAA means. Because if we consider Blood and Truth AAA, put that on a flat screen and play that in your head on a flat screen, and you will no longer consider that game a AAA game. You'll be like, oh, this is very basic, and this is very straightforward, and there's not a whole lot, what you'd consider AAA content, right? I mean, it might look beautiful, but in terms of depth, there's not a whole lot of AAA qualities there.
Right.
And so I think in PlayStation VR 2 land, we're going to start redefining that and actually saying, oh yeah, Blood and Truth was great, but that was like maybe a single A title. That was like a really well polished indie title. I think we're going to start redefining what these terms mean.
Yeah. I'm still expecting a lot of the indie VR devs scene to come out. They're not, it's going to be up to them. And there's going to be smaller games that hopefully are just priced accordingly. But I am, this, again, if a Sony first party game is $70, like if they said, oh, Returnal is coming out, if Returnal has a full VR mode, like the entire game is playable in VR, and it's like redone with first person and stuff, for a game that I'm going to probably spend 50, 60 hours in, like I don't mind paying $50, $60 for.
Right.
At least.
Right. We're paying $20 to $30 for games that we're spending 5 to 8 hours in. So, that's not an issue at all.
But an indie game, even if it's like AA or something, typically you like, or consider AAA. If it's a shorter AAA experience or something that's like, 6, 7, 10 hours, you still want to like typically pay no more than like $30 for that. $40 for that. $40 is what you said, what we consider for AAA right now.
Yeah. Shades of a happier new year. With a viewer takeover question says, how do you think foveated rendering will work on the social screen or streaming on PSVR 2? If foveated rendering is being used to adjust the resolution and level of detail to focus on where the user is looking, much of the image on the social screen or streams could be blurry or lower detail. Would Sony include a reduced graphics option that would remove foveated rendering to give more consistent detail for the flat screen output?
Yeah. Actually, I think it was Nathan was talking about this today, was saying, like, I hope the PlayStation VR 2 has really good social screen output features, and I saw Zest was talking about it as well. Yeah, I do hope they find some way to have the social screen output to just not have the foveated rendering look to it. There are some games on PSVR currently, like Dreams. If you play Dreams on a PS5, or actually I think any platform, even when I capture high definition footage of Dreams, you kind of see around the edges in the peripheral visions that there is some blur going on there. And I don't like that. But that's not for every game. Most games look fine. It's just the ones that have like the foveal focus that you typically see it more. I think like Everybody's Golf is another one.
Yeah, there's actually a couple PSVR games. People don't talk about this, but there's a couple PSVR games that don't show what the VR gamer is seeing over on the social screen. Like sometimes it's as simple as something like Angry Birds, the Angry Birds 2, the movie Under Pressure, right? Where it's a totally different screen because you've got flat screen players playing with you, and they don't see what the VR players seeing. So there is this capability of showing something completely different on the social screen than what the VR player is seeing. But there's even more subtle examples like traffic jams. Now, traffic jams is an interesting one because I didn't notice this at first, but I didn't realize till later when I captured the footage from the social screen, it wasn't doing exactly what I was doing. Like, it was steadying the headset. So if I looked left to right, or if my head was doing this, it would keep it kind of steady. Like if you ever use Premiere, it's like the warp stabilizer effect where it smooths all that out. So there's already processes in the PlayStation 4 that allow for a smoother image, so that you're not making your viewers motion sick when you're playing the game. Not all the games use that. Most of it just says, oh, here's what you're looking at, and just shows it. But there are certain games that very subtly change what the viewer is seeing, and so I don't think it's going to be any issue at all for the PlayStation 5 to do.
I agree with VR Demon that says I hate when they don't show the VR view. Yeah, me too. It kind of takes, but like you said, sometimes it is for a co-op game. Braxbro has a great point. He says I like Electronauts where you can choose what the social screen looks like. That would be nice. Maybe that's something developers should be considering in the future. Is like, do you want to show what the person wearing the headset is playing, or do you want to show like a third-person view? There's definitely some good options here.
Yeah, I mean,
but
we've
that's going to be up to developers. That's going to be a little bit more work for them.
Yeah, we've all seen the third-party Beat Saber videos where you actually see a person in VR like swinging the sabers, right? It would be cool to create your own avatar in PSVR 2 and then switch to third person when you're streaming and be like, oh, look, that's Brian's avatar playing Beat Saber in third person. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I don't think, but obviously that's going to be the minority, I think. I think the majority of people, if you're trying to show people at your house or whatever on the TV screen, you want it to look good. And so for that reason, but having a customizable camera, that's more of like, that more applies to like content creators and
which goes back to the initial question.
Yeah.
Right. Peepo one wire to rule them all with the viewer takeover question. If I just read two in a row, I'm sorry. It says, do you think Sony is underestimating the 1 to 2 million PSVR 2 headsets for launch? And do you think it will be hard to get a hold of one? AJ?
So this came from the reports that came from the Gore-Tech, the Chinese analyst, that they were saying that the headsets, that PSVR 2s are going to be shipping in Q2, and that they expect to sell at least 1 to 2 million by the end of the year. And, to me, it depends. I don't think this is the thing I think. I think 1 to 2 million a year is actually probably pretty good for a PSVR headset. I don't think they're underestimating anything. There still are some of the supply chain issues, and the other thing is, maybe that if the headset launches, first of all, if this is true, if the headset launches at the end of the year, let's say like November or even slightly before that, that's only a couple months that you're selling 2 million. So that's actually really, really good. But all that really comes down to when the headset's going to come out. Yeah.
Well said. I turned the viewer takeover intro off. Anyway, I think it all depends if the headset comes out in October, November, and Sony considers the launch period 2 months, right? November and December. Then 2 million is nothing. 2 million is nothing. That's fine. And then January they'll have more ready to go. And I think as they get closer to launch, they're going to start realizing just how high the interest level is. I'm really hopeful that if they do a state of play next month, as the rumors are saying could be true, and maybe they reveal the headset, and everyone's super excited. They're like, "Look at this, the headset!" And oh, look at this, the games. And then they say, "Oh, it's open for pre-order," and everyone hits the button on Amazon and pre-orders. Someone's gonna go, "Oh shit!" Like, this is way more popular than we thought it was gonna be, and they have to up the production. I mean, that gives them plenty of months to go. Okay, you know what? We need to talk to our suppliers, talk to our factories, and up the numbers. I think that number will change once Sony realizes the pre-orders are through the roof.
Yeah, it kind of depends. Like, I don't know. I don't have enough information as to what this is implying. Is this just talking about that shipping company, the Gore-Tech? Are they providing 1 to 2 million? Is this like Sony's total output for 2 million? It also depends on when it's releasing. There's too many other factors that I just don't have enough information here to say if that makes sense or not. But
yeah. But yeah, I do.
But
I think it's going to be. I think at least initially it's going to be easy to get one, right? If you're watching the press conference and they say, "And pre-orders are live now," I think it's going to be easy to get one for that day or a couple days, and then as press starts whirring, the gears start turning and people start talking about it more in mainstream media, and then we go, "Wow, this looks really fucking impressive." It's going to be harder and harder and harder to find one leading up to launch. My recommendation would be is if you're interested, just fucking pre-order it. Probably on Amazon. You don't even pay for it until it ships. So what's the harm? Just pre-order it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you'll be able to pre-order it right away. There probably will be a couple scalpers out there because they just tend to buy up anything possible.
Right.
But,
AJ, what's our next question?
All right, our next question comes from Stingray X with says #viewer takeover. Nixus, we know, develops PC ports of PlayStation games. Do you think Sony will have a team that will port PCVR games to PSVR 2?
Yeah, I think that's a smart move, right? If Sony's like, hey, we really want your game over here on PSVR 2, and the devs are like, well, we don't really have the time to do that, but we can, if you have a port studio that's able to do it, go for it. And I actually thought recently that Nixus would be awesome if they're able to port PlayStation games, like these big. Is Nixus the one doing like God of War and Horizon and bringing all those to PC? Because if they are, they're doing a great job. Like, those games look stunning over there and are getting rave reviews. If they're proficient in both PlayStation hardware and PC hardware already, then that would be a great studio to use to go the opposite direction. Be like, let's get these PC games over to PlayStation VR 2. So
Sony has only published 4, I think, previous exclusives. Actually, not even exclusives. Three exclusives, which is Uncharted Legacy Thieves Collection, God of War, and Horizon Zero Dawn. Mm-hmm. Days Gone was another one, but I don't think that was an exclusive, right? That was a multi-platform game.
Days Gone was a PS4 exclusive. It was made by Sony.
Oh, it was an exclusive as well. Yeah. Okay. So they've done 4 exclusives. I think the majority. I don't think so, man. I mean, if they have a first party title, maybe, but Nixus hasn't even done a lot of these first party conversions. I mean, God of War was done by Jetpack Interactive. Uncharted was done by Iron Galaxy. So there's nothing really that says that like this is going to be maybe they're going to be taking care of some things, but it sounds like it's a game by game basis. Well, and that's only for first party. When it comes to third party games, like then who knows? It
does beg the question then, why did Sony buy Nixus? Like what was the necessity there if they already have other studios that are really fucking talented at doing this? So
yeah, I don't know. But also when it comes to VR games specifically, like I think they'll have their exclusives. Not unless there's like something huge that comes out that maybe in the future goes to PC years later. But from what I can tell, I mean, have we asked the question? Is Nixus maybe there to help port PC games to the platform, or are they mainly supposed to be doing output to PC?
Yeah,
I guess they're mainly output, right?
That's what they're known for so far. But again, if they're proficient in both areas, I could see I don't know. We'll see, man. But
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea. I think it would be awesome for for especially when there's small studios that just don't have the ability, don't have the manpower to be like, oh, we're gonna like port our thing to PSVR 2. It's like if Sony steps in and goes, we can help. Sony's always been pretty good with developers like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure just yet.
We'll just send White Moon Dreams to do it, man. Fucking send White Moon Dreams. They'll take care of everything. We got Looper the Underground Gamecat with 10 euros says Death Stranding and Detroit Become Human are off the top of my head 2 examples of Sony studio developed games that were ported to PC after being exclusive for some time. True.
Timed exclusives.
Yeah. Man, they've had so many good exclusives over the years. It's actually kind of cool that they sort of relinquish control of some of these games and let more people play them. I'm a PlayStation guy, but man, I think everyone should be playing these games.
Yep. All right, we got some Horizon Call of the Mountain questions next. You want to take the first one?
Yeah, in that case, let's bring up some Horizon Call of the Mountain footage. The question comes to us from Josh76 over on Discord. Hashtag viewer takeover. How will Horizon Call of the Mountain utilize Sense controllers? Will hand tracking be used? If so, how will that work? What other aspects of the Sense controller will the game utilize?
Orbs, baby. Oh, that's going to be first and foremost one of the big things about it. Will hand tracking be used? No, I don't think hand tracking will be used to answer that. Maybe there's only finger touch detection, so some minimal finger tracking.
But that would be cool though if you're holding
detection.
onto a bow, right? And you're holding it and like you put your fingers down on the controller and you actually see your character's hand just go boom. It's simple things like that even on the Quest, I go, oh, this is nice. It adds a little touch of immersion to my gameplay, and it would be nice to to just kind of see your character responding in suit with what you're doing.
So this is the stuff that kind of excites me about the Horizon game. I have to assume that you're going to be using a bow and arrow in Call of the Mountain. I really think that's going to be a main weapon that you use, and that's going to utilize, of course, the adaptive triggers. And man, when I first got my PS5, I played the DualSense Astro's Playroom, and there was a little bow and arrow segment using the DualSense controller, and it felt so good. I call it the crunch whenever something uses the adaptive triggers. And yeah, I think I cannot wait to use the Sense controllers with the crunch of the adaptive triggers and a bow and arrow and physically aiming. I think that's going to be really, really fun.
Yeah, I think they're also probably going to take a cue from Returnal, because you could just by holding the controller, I felt like I always knew where enemies were in the field, and I think a lot of the enemies or the robots or whatever you call them in Horizon are a little bit bigger and half machine, and so when they walk around, they walk with a little bit of a thud, and to feel that in the Sense controllers, just to kind of know where they are without even having to turn your head or feeling it a little bit, the haptics in the headset. There's only a single motor in that haptic, but I think it's going to be used pretty effectively, just like that low rumble setting where it's just
Yeah,
I
mean, I think you'll get a focus too. I have a feeling you'll get a focus, which is the little earpiece that Aloy uses, and it like brings up this blue grid. I think that's gonna look so cool. But then there's also a bunch of other tools and weapons in the game. I mean, I'll just like name just one or two examples. There's something called the rope caster that looks like a big clunky crossbow, and you use it to shoot into machines, and then you tie it down to the ground, and it kind of like it basically ties them down until they're immobilized. That would be really interesting if there's like a manually reloading of that or whatever.
Dude, when the rope shoots out, I can almost feel how it's going to feel in the Sense controller when the rope shoots out and there's these these big threaded like shooting out of your hands, basically.
The
like
haptics.
You're
it's
gonna
got the
feel
haptics
that.
and the adapt. Yeah,
you're gonna feel the rope shooting out of your hand, basically.
Well, speaking of that, machines have there's a common gameplay element in Horizon where you can tear off different equipment from machines, and some of them have like Gatling guns and like big laser guns and stuff. And I imagine you're gonna be able to pick something up and press down the trigger and feel the adaptive triggers, similar to like the Call of Duty game where you use a machine gun. And like the trigger goes nuts. And I know some people are split on that. I really loved it. I think it feels awesome. And having that with the Sense controllers and bringing that like sense of weight, like if you're carrying a big Gatling gun that you tore off a machine, that's going to be awesome. That's going to feel really, really cool. In addition to whatever else, that's the exciting part. We have no idea, but we're going to find out for sure.
Yeah.
I think bow is the only given. If I had to pick one that I'm 100% sure we're gonna get is the bow and arrow.
There's got to be some kind of melee weapon. I would imagine something for something to make stealth kills a little bit more exciting. I'm already envisioning being this dude and sneaking up on people in the tall grass, right? And having each blade of grass sort of like move aside as we walk through it, and then literally sneak up behind somebody in, I don't know, some kind of melee weapon, something to knock them out, something to kill them with one hit, something, and then being able to drag them into the grass. I don't know what kind of weapon that will be. A big ass club, maybe. I don't know.
Oh yeah, the sling. Oh, never mind. I thought somebody said, yeah. There's like a slingshot stuff too. So yeah, there's lots of different ways. So let me read the next one here. We got Twitcher. The EFG says #viewer takeover. We've seen glimpses of a few new machine types in the footage of Horizon Forbidden West. What animal or dinosaur would you most like to see added in Horizon Call of the Mountain?
I want a pet machine cat. Just friendly
Pet
machine cat
cat.
walking around. I don't. That's not going to happen. But I want that. I'm like, why can't I have a companion animal? I don't know, man. It's like I only played through half of Zero Dawn, and I don't really remember the trailers for Forbidden West, and so I don't know which animals are missing from this universe. I don't know really enough to speak intelligently about this at all. So you just played Horizon for 30 hours straight, so you tell me, man.
I mean, the dream thing would be, this is not something you can do in Horizon Zero Dawn, but there has been just speculation about being able to do this in Forbidden West, and that are the Glinthawks or Stormbirds. It would be awesome to have like flying mounts where you could fly around the world and grab onto the machines that way. For me personally, though, I don't know. If it was Forbidden West, I'd love to be able to grab on or ride some of those aquatic animals. I love marine life. I think the water environments and biomes in Forbidden West look beautiful. And yeah, you got some good ones in the chat too. A big machine frog, says Robert the Game Cat.
Yep,
Nick
metal
Mulo
hippo.
says metal hippo.
Metal gorilla. Yep.
Yes, and hearing gorillas and monkeys too. Yeah, those would all be pretty cool. I would just love to be able to ride some animals too. Yeah, I don't really care as long as I can ride them.
Agreed. And our final question for Viewer Takeover comes to us from Nick Mueller, the Game Cat. #Viewer Takeover. The gameplay in Horizon Call of the Mountain will probably be very different from Flat Zero Dawn, but if it was similar, what aspects would suffer the most from being in VR? Which ones would be improved?
The thing that would suffer the most is like you do a lot of dashing and rolling around in Horizon Zero Dawn. And I think that would probably be the worst. I think they would have to find another solution for it. The ones that would be improved, absolutely the bow and arrow gameplay, like having to pinpoint, like maybe slow down time, and pick off, different parts of a machine using the focus. And then, of course, the stealth, man. Stealth is so much fun in VR. I really think it works really well. And then, the Tempest audio, Fire Sprite's history, the persistence. They had some of the best stealth next to Hitman 3. They had the best stealth, period, on PSVR Gen 1 that I could think of. And, yeah, those are kind of the first few that come to mind for me.
Yeah, I think, Aloy is constantly dodging, right? Like you're constantly rolling out of the way. I hope our dude has a nice dash ability, because I mean, rolling is going to be kind of tough, I think, to actually make your character flip in first person in VR. But
Yeah, it
but but a,
doesn't
but a
really
big
work.
dash, just like shooting off to one side or shooting off to the other side, having a great dash ability would, I think, be totally fine. Nick says, I think climbing would be worse in VR. I disagree. I think climbing on a flat screen is
Definitely
boring.
disagree.
I think climbing in flat screen is boring. I think I was so bored playing Uncharted 4, just holding my analog stick in one direction, watching Nathan Drake make these elaborate animations and go, whoom, oh, and I was like, I'm just sitting here holding my analog stick in one direction, watching this all go down, going, are you kidding me? Like, this isn't even gameplay. I'm watching him. And so I want to be the one, like looking for the next place to climb. I want to be looking for ropes or vines, and kind of like launching
There are
myself
some
from
really
one to
cool
another.
Yeah, there's some awesome zip lining too in Horizon that I imagine has to be in the thing. I think there's going to be some climbing. Being able to climb up a tall neck would be amazing. Being able to do the zip lines. There's some really epic shit that goes down in that game. And like there was just so many things that I was just like, here, this needs to be in VR. This needs to be in VR.
Yeah.
But also like,
Sorry.
good.
What's Aloy's like detective vision? What's that called when she touches the thing? And
That's the focus. That's the
Okay.
thing that's in her ear.
I think that's going to be so cool, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because I mean, suddenly all the sounds of the wilderness are just going to go boom, right down, and all you're going to hear are the different characters, and you're in those things. The environment will blur out, and you'll just start paying. The way that's going to come across in VR, I bet, is going to be. I mean, something that we're going to be talking about for a while. I think it's going to come across really cool.
Just the little subtle things like that. And Horizon, I would say maybe suffered a little bit of camera angle issues. And yeah, I don't think that's going to be a problem in VR when it's first person.
Yeah. Also, I think that, I guess this is relevant. I just don't see this being an open world game. I think Horizon was great at being an open world game. Those environments were beautiful and amazing, really well done. I think it's gonna be a lot more focused. I've said 100 times. I think this is gonna be more like Uncharted 1, where it's like, you get a big area to explore, but you're just kind of going from one end of it to the other.
Like it's going to utilize big sections of the world.
Yeah.
Which, as long as it gives me some area to explore and there's fun gameplay, I know there's the first part that we've seen that where you're on the raft. That's probably going to be like introducing you to the game and the hardware and letting you just like look around for a second and go, oh, this looks amazing. And then I'm sure like after that the gameplay will get started. It's like we call it like the Skyrim,
We got two more tips before we have to move on here. Both from Looper the Gamecat. Also, Looper's like funding the show single-handedly today. Like every tip has been from Looper. Thank you very much, man. We really appreciate it. He says with the €5. Wait, so Horizon has robots and dinosaurs? Do you think they'll be adding pirates on that raft?
Pirates on that raft?
I don't know. I mean,
I would love some pirates. There's like factions and stuff, and there are like bandits, bandit camps and whatnot. So you'll be fighting both machines and humans most likely.
Looper the Underground Gamecat with another €2 says, I like the stealth in Saints and Sinners very much. Yeah, pretty good.
I do too.
It was pretty good. It's zombies are inherently just dumb, like big dumb enemies. Just to like, okay, well, as long as they don't look at me, I guess I'm good. Or if you rub zombie guts. So I think there's it's sort of easy to make a zombie stealth game. You don't have to really program too much AI. I think the things in Horizon, considering that there's humans and these tall necks enemies, whatever, these robots, I think they seem to be pretty fucking smart sometimes in the flat screen game. So I think the stealth in this is going to be a lot more intense than something like Saints and Sinners.
Yeah, Saints and Sinners not necessarily the biggest focus on stealth, but more survival. I'd say it's got much heavier survival elements and action, and but they do have a lot of it. I say it all the time. Like that's the reason I think that's the best PSVR game is because of the immersive gameplay, the immersive features that it has. Everything is designed to be immersive, and then they put a kick-ass game in there as well, and that's why it's always like number one when we do the top 25 list.
Always.
And
that needs to change. Dude, it is time for our final segment of the show, and that is PSVR 20 questions, where I put 6 minutes up on the clock. We got 20 questions. You have a game in mind, correct? You're our host.
I do have a game picked out.
Well, that means I got 20 questions, 20 yes or no questions, and you guys in the chat better help me out because I've never successfully done this on my own. So help me out. I'm really going to need a lot of help. 20 yes or no questions. Figure out what PlayStation VR game AJ is thinking of. I'm putting the 6-minute timer up right now. On your mark, get set, go. Oh, wait, right. Does it have aim support?
It does not have aim support.
Does it require the moves?
It does require the moves.
That's always a risky question because if you say no, I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't even know if it has move support.
You kind of
but-
end up burning too many questions on the controllers. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So we know it requires the moves. Is there a focus on music in this game?
There is not a focus on music in this game.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, no. I'm gonna say no.
Okay. Okay. I was like that'll eliminate like fitness games and rhythm games all at once.
Yeah, I mean, if it's like a fitness or rhythm, yeah, no, it's not one of those.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I usually take notes during this. Can I have this piece of paper? Do you mind? Can I have this? Thank you so much. She's so nice to me.
Wait,
okay.
hold on. What was the question? Is there a focus on music in the game?
Yeah.
That's such a wide range question.
I mean,
It's like every game has.
yeah, no, but I mean, like if it was Rez, which definitely has a focus on music, that's all rhythm, and
Right.
Tetris, which has a focus on music, and yeah, I mean, but that,
Let me say a little focus on music.
okay, so it requires moves, a little music. Is that all I figured out so far? Are there any puzzle elements?
There's not puzzle elements. Not a puzzle game.
Not a puzzle game. Let's see what the chat is saying here. Let's get our newest Gamecat inimitable dual wielding ass kicking Gamecat. Do you have full locomotion? Asked JC.
It does have full locomotion. That was number 5.
Okay, full locomotion. Is shooting a big part of this? Thanks, Mark.
Shooting is a part of it, I guess.
Okay. Part shooting. Okay. Brax Bros at Space Channel 5. Dude, that would have been like a big yes if it was on the music question.
Choo, choo.
Right? That is all music. Oh, Bogey Cat. I like that. Does it have a physical release?
Does it have a what?
A physical release.
It does not have a physical release.
Let's get physical. Physical. No physical. Oh, here we go. All yours history. The Grind Cat. Do you control any vehicles?
You do not control vehicles in this game.
Okay. All right, let's see what we've got so far, guys. Maybe we can start piecing this together. Requires the moves. Get yourself in that mindset. Full locomotion with the moves. Not really a puzzle game. No puzzles. Music is some element, but not a huge element. I can't read any of the other things I wrote down. You don't control vehicles. And something about port shovels. I don't know what port shovels mean. I don't know. So
Port
that's
shovels.
Yep, I wrote port shovels. I'm not even kidding. I wrote port shovels. Old Darth says, is it based on some kind of known IP?
Is not a known IP. No, that was number 8. No, that was number 9. You're on question number 10.
Is this a top 25 game? Has it ever been on our top 25s?
It has never been on our top 25 list.
Wow. Wonder Rob says, does it have a lot of climbing?
Yes, but it's got a unique kind of climbing. I would say maybe not like your tradition, not the kind of climbing you're thinking of. Maybe.
Okay. This is interesting, guys. I think that was a huge hint. Yeah, there is shooting in the game. All yours history. Maybe that's what port shovel probably means. There's some shooting. Oh, is it one of these carnival type games?
Is not a carnival type game.
How many questions is that?
That's number 12.
Yeah, it can't.
I
be
think you're
Tarzan.
kind of hurting yourself with some of these questions.
Probably. Okay, we know that there's some kind of climbing involved, not your traditional timing. We just did 2 of the top recently, so it's not that. Trying to think of other climbing games.
Yeah, I wouldn't. There's no like thing where you're actually like grabbing and climbing like this. Like,
Are you
that out.
pulling yourself around with some kind of device?
Pulling yourself around with a device, like in-game device? No.
Okay, so there goes Jupiter Grad, but that was a good guess. Song in the Smoke, huh? Is this game would you consider? Oh, no, Song in the Smoke is shit. Is it VRAF? Is it Super VR? Is it very immersive game?
Game is definitely Super VRAF. Yeah.
Okay. Is it cover-based shooting game?
Is not a cover-based shooter.
Uh-oh, guys, we're running out of time here. It can't be Song in the Smoke because it's shit. We're out of time. Is it Song in the Smoke?
It is Song in the Smoke.
Oh my god!
Question number 15. You got it at the very last second. It is, in fact, Song in the Smoke. They're shooting a bow. There's climbing, but it does like the climbing automatically for you. Like it's got like the picture of the hands on the wall, you know. When you said is the game, you said what, music themed, or is it about?
Yeah,
is the song? Is it
no,
like
that's a
song
hard.
focused?
That's a hard no. It's a hard no.
It's called Song in the Smoke, and you're finding song stones.
If I said, are you are you smoking a pipe in this game?
If you just said, is it a rhythm game? I'd say no. Great save though. No, it is. What do you mean Song in the Smoke isn't song focused? The plot of the game is to find the song stones that sing to you when you get near them. Like, yes, it is song focused, kind of.
No, it's absolutely not song focused. But listen, the question I've got a bigger issue with is port shovel. Okay, I don't understand how this game has any port shovels. This is fucking nonsense. I'm going to report to the board. But thank you, everybody.
Max Rose says it's in the title, and you also said, is it in the top 25? We haven't done a top 25 with Song in the Smoke yet.
And that's fair, and that's what threw me off because I was like, this is like not.
Yeah.
But also we both did our personal top 25 lists, and it was in both of those. So.
It's not the official top 25. Though.
Has it ever been in any of our top 25 lists? Was the actual question, and the answer was a big fat lie.
I guess I cheated a little bit then. Yeah,
but that's okay.
Any of our top 25 lists, I didn't realize those counted.
Because thank goodness for the cats who saved me with 5 seconds left to go.
Margot Soft and Looper the Game Cat said it like within like the first 2 or 3 questions.
Thank you guys so much. For some reason, you guys are always saving my ass, and I always ignore the best answer right from the get-go. So thank you guys so much. Don't ever hold back with me. I don't pay attention. Okay, so just keep throwing it at me. Gamecat Mob Task Force to protect David at all costs with a $2 tip says, let's get a werewolves game going tonight and get high. Guys, join our Discord. Woo! Join our Discord and get high and get a game together. Click the link in the description below. That's where all the multiplayer meetups happen. Thank you, Professor Lilith, for organizing the weekly ones. And, of course, you guys, you can organize whatever multiplayer games you want over on Discord. Just give a shout-out to everybody and say, hey, who wants to play this? But we got to get going, guys. It is time to end another PSVR Gamescast Live and also end another amazing week here without Parole. It's been so much fun. I can't wait to go put my feet up and eat some pizza and watch some more Final Space. The show is actually really good, and I'm so happy that everybody in the comments already knew what a great show it was. So, guys, thank you. Of course, everybody who helps the channel run, everybody from J Meow to all the moderators and Sci-Fi Game Cat Henry, of course. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you to everyone who tips during the show. Thank you to everybody who supports us on patreon.com/withoutparolegames to get this guy hired. Remember, subscribe to AJ over at PSVR Underground. I couldn't do the show without him. Show him some love over there on his channel. And thank you, of course, everybody out there who watches the show, doesn't say a goddamn word. We know you're out there, and we love you just as much. AJ, let's cue the cat.
Cue the cat, Brian, because I want to say have a wonderful weekend to Hugh Guyver. Shout out to your cousin, Mac. Hugh Guyver wrote a really awesome post on my latest video, too, man. Great job, Hugh. I am going to print that up and frame it. Tom, Flesh Eater Gaming, much love to you as well. Jazzy J, the Terror Mage Game Cat, thank you so much, man. Glad you had fun. Jeremy, the NAS Rookie, my Sci-Fi Game Cat, Henry, thank you so much. Looks like some people are going to go play some Bullet Roulette tonight. Mark Pringles Leaf, thank you, man. Glad you enjoyed. Bob Zarkoff, the Underground Game Cat, Elite Game Squad in the house, Sci-Fi Game Cat, Henry, speaking of the devil, you're Jeremy, the NAS Rookie. Steve, I love this. Stephen Gilling, thank you so much, man. Robert the Game Cat says, get your port shovels and have a great weekend, everyone.
Port shovels.
Mick Coles says, throw those sexy shapes all over the weekend, folks. I agree. Nick Mulo, the Game Cat, thank you so much. You have a great weekend as well. Fozzie Bear, 927GG. Guy Sons fist bump to you. JC, the inimitable dual-wielding ass-kicking Game Cat.
Inimitable.
Just finished 12 Monkeys TV show. The witness has spoken. Inimitable. I can't do it again. Neon Groove. Zenith is just mere days away. Yes, guys, the Zenith beta was delayed, but there's still supposed to be a beta. Make sure you get ready for it. It's coming. It's going to be great. It's that bearded Game Cat Sage. Well, yo, good to see you, man. Feel like I haven't seen your name in a while. I love seeing people return after a little long
hiatus.
while. You know,
nice little hiatus.
So
Man,
nice.
everybody needs a hiatus sometime. Hold on. Josh Savino, by the way, during the show called me rich. He goes, Brian, you're rich. Buy my Yawamushi manga on OfferUp. Now, okay, so first of all, you got the wrong guy because I'm fucking broke all the time. But hey, man. But you know what? Go buy John Savino's Yawamushi manga over on OfferUp, man. Like this, we want to support all the cats out there. Do your good deed for the day and support John.
Before we get out of here,
what?
I want to say goodnight to LC2552 Beats, the musical Game Cat. Ash VR, the groovy Game Cat. Twitch, the single player Game Cat. KBO double floor to the lights to be on Game Cat. Cerebral Frost, Brax Bro, X Pacer, and Donatello, the scientist Game Cat.
Hey, don't forget the fucking love of my life. Flame Hat, the Game Cat. He's going to be real confused. He's going to be like, what the fuck is Brian talking about? All right, dude, let's get out of here. Much love, everybody. Happy weekend.
See y'all later.